The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investment or investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered in the U.S. through First Allied Securities, Inc., a registered broker and dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through First Allied Advisory Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor. You're listening to the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenberger.
Knowledge is absolutely power. When you look at retirement, you have to look at all facets.
And Bart Steinler.
But there's a lot of people that we never talk to that probably not listening to this show, but that there's just nothing there for retirement. And I don't know what they think they're going to do.
And now, here are your hosts.
Good morning. Welcome to Keeping Your Money Show. I'm Jamie Westenberger, joined as always by my illustrious colleague, Bart Steinler. Mr. Steinler, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Jamie. It's another $1 million morning.
It is indeed. We are well into the month of April now, and as the first part of every month brings us, we have a mixer coming up soon, which we'll talk about momentarily. This is the Keeping Your Money Show, where we cut through all the bulls, the booyahs, the bells, whistles, honks, and horns to get to the information that actually helps you move towards retirement. If you're joining us for the first time, you can find us on the web. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/keepingyourmoney. And you're always welcome to email me. It's info@keepingyourmoney.com. I do respond to all of those emails personally. Got a great show on deck for you today. We are going to discuss 8 surprising things you need to know about retirement that you may not know. We're going to talk about a guy who spent 5 years studying self-made millionaires and found one common daily habit that is probably keeping you from becoming independently wealthy. Kiplinger's gave us 8 financial decisions you will regret forever. We're going to help you figure out how to not make those. And then straight from Investopedia, the executive retirement, the concept between a pension or a lump sum benefit. We're going to break down the positives and negatives that are with those. Every month we bring you a monthly mixer. Gives you an opportunity to meet the members of our team in a low... I wanted to say
low-key
impact, but that didn't come out. No, there's no high impact either. But yeah, low-key environment. We kind of travel around West Michigan doing these. This month, we are going to be in Battle Creek. Come up here just in a few days on April 12th. And where are we going to be at exactly, Bart?
We're going to be at the Battle Creek Country Club, as Jamie said, on April 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We do this on the second Tuesday of every month. We call these our monthly mixers. And a lot of the people that listen to our radio show come to these monthly mixers. They have a chance to meet us and just get to know us on a personal level. It's a casual open house style event. We have complimentary beverages and hors d'oeuvres. There's no sales presentations, no sales pitches. It's just come on and meet the people from Forest Hills Financial and the Keeping Your Money crew. To RSVP, you can go to our website, which is keepingyourmoney.com, and go to the events tab, or you can give us a phone call at 888-98-MONEY. That's 888-986-6639. For this outing in particular, we do need you to call an RSVP because the country club wants a specific
They're
number.
A little picky. They want to know how many people are coming. So give us a heads up so we know that you're coming. Like Bart said, absolutely no cost, no sales pitches or pressure or anything like that. Just want to meet you, and feel free to stop by, bring your friends, whatever. We also want to remind you that coming up here in just a couple months will be our 3rd annual charity golf outing benefiting Kids Food Basket. If you have not taken part of this in the past, you are missing out. It's going to be Tuesday, June 21st. Last year we raised... $18,000 or something for kids?
Something like that, yeah.
Just phenomenal. Great fun. We have a blast. It's not super competitive, so even if you're a terrible golfer, we'd love to have you out. More information on that can also be found on our website, and we would like to make it an even bigger and better tournament this year, and much more information to follow on that.
Boy, Thornapple Point too. That's a nice, a nice club.
Great course. So, But you can find that on our website, keepingyourmoney.com. So let's talk about these 8 surprising things you need to know. Like, just this is from Kiplinger's. I don't know. I found a bunch of stuff in Kiplinger's this week, I think. We're not going to probably cover all 8 because, we don't generally. But if you ever want to find more information on the stuff we talk about, you can always email us or check us out. We'll be happy to get the information to you. But the first one is kind of funny because when I first read it, I was like, well, people know that. But then the more I thought about it, even though you may know something, you may not apply it to the information that you're working with. So the first one is that your Social Security benefits and any of your qualified accounts that, of course, are not Roth accounts are taxable. And so, of course, my first reaction was, of course, you're going to pay taxes on that. But what I think is really important about this was you have to consider that in your planning. So how often do we say, in rough numbers, well, I'm going to get $2,000 in Social Security. I need $4,000 to live on, so I'll just need $2,000 out of my retirement. Well, that's not accurate because 85% of your Social Security, up to 85%, can be taxable. You're going to pay taxes on that $2,000 you take out. So in reality, if you're planning on $2,000 a month, you may actually need $3,000 or $4,000 a month to make that actually happen. And that's based on today's tax rates. I think if you listen to this show at all, we've been talking about debt and deficit obligations of our country. And, the reality is if you're going to retire over a 30-year period of time, there's a high likelihood that tax rates are going to go up as well. So definitely something that has to be in the conversation when you're planning for the withdrawal phases of your retirement, that taxes are going to take a big bite out of that.
Yeah, this retirement planning isn't quite as simple as a lot of people make it out to be. It can be drawn down and figured out to a fairly accurate number of what you're going to need. But so many people don't think about taxes. They don't think about medical care going up. They don't think about inflation. So these are all things that you need to talk through with your advisor to make sure you got it right. You don't want to make this a mistake.
Yep, absolutely. Retirees get a lot of tax breaks, and taxes in general is something that you have to think about because a lot of times we maybe just stay where we always lived, and then maybe we spend the winters in another location. And increasingly what's becoming a good strategy is even if you are spending half of your time in one state and half in another, it can make a lot of sense to look at making your residence, as far as for tax purposes, a different location besides Michigan. Many states offer some really attractive tax breaks. For instance, Mississippi doesn't tax any retirement income. So if you're buying that house on Gulfport Shores, it may make sense to actually be a resident of that area. Tennessee and New Hampshire only tax dividends and interest, and they do offer breaks on those to seniors. Some states offer breaks on sales tax and property taxes and all of those things. So it's really good an idea to investigate that stuff and look into it. Now, of course, I'm not giving you tax information. We never provide tax, recommendations. You want to talk to a licensed CPA about what makes sense for you, but it is something to explore. Don't just assume the status quo is the best way to go in retirement. You could be, costing yourself a lot more money than you need to be paying in taxes.
One thing, too, this article points out that Kiplinger's has a retiree tax map. So, maybe you're in that point where you're considering what part of the country do we want to live in when we retire, or do we want to stay here? I mean, taxes are not the only point in making that decision. Mm-hmm. You want to be somewhere where you can, enjoy your life, either be near your family or not. But this tax map could be a way of starting to look at areas that you might find attractive that also are beneficial tax-wise.
Yep, absolutely. They point out that Medicare does not cover all of your health costs. If you're not familiar with how Medicare works, there are gaps in the coverage that you'll be responsible for or that you'll have to purchase insurance to cover. It's why for a number of years we've been telling you Fidelity estimates the average 65-year-old couple will pay $240,000 out of pocket for health care during their retirement. That's a significant amount of money you need to be planning into the overall budget. You must withdraw from your nest egg at some point in time in retirement. A lot of times we have people telling us they're going to save and save and save, but the reality is at 70 and a half, and this kind of ties into another one they talked about, the half years matter. Only the U.S. government has decided that half years mean anything. You have to withdraw from your retirement accounts starting at 70 and a half, and you can withdraw from them starting at 59 and a half without penalty. Both numbers that are very important to you when you retire because the penalties can be significant if you don't pay attention to those.
The 70.5 in particular, it's almost like a trap that they're setting for you. Let's say your required minimum distribution when you turn 70.5 is $10,000 and you don't take it, your penalty for not taking that will be $5,000. So it's a trap, and you have to make sure that you're aware of it so that you don't fall into it.
Yep, absolutely. We talk about this next thing quite a bit in our shows, but the idea that you really are going to have to stretch your income for decades. If you're retiring in your 60s, it is highly likely one or both of you is going to live into your 90s. That is a real situation there that you have to plan properly for. One of the things they talk about is being really smart when it comes to Social Security planning, and realizing that it's not as simple as I turn 62, I'm going to file, or I turn 66, I'm going to file. There really does need to be planning involved in that, because there still are some strategies. Now, many of them have been taken away by our illustrious Treasury Department recently, but there are still some choices that can be made to help maximize those benefits if one of you should live to be older.
As a general rule, you want to try to delay taking the Social Security until you're older, but that's a general rule. There are exceptions if you maybe have bad health, if you don't think you're going to live a long time because of your family history, other considerations, like maybe you can't afford to wait until you're 70 because you need the money now. Those things are individual type situations, and here again, that's where you need the help of an advisor to weigh the pros and cons and help you come up with a decision that works best for you.
And another thing that people don't realize a lot of times is you can keep saving even while you're retired. So let's say you pick up a part-time job to keep you busy, or you're working maybe on a contract basis or something like that. All the way up to 70.5, you can still contribute to an IRA. After 70.5, you can continue to contribute to your company's 401k plan. You can also continue to contribute to Roth IRAs. So it is important to realize that just because you're working part-time doesn't mean you don't have the ability to continue to contribute. If you're working part-time somewhere and they're matching in the 401k, shoot, put in what you had to take out as a required minimum distribution. Then it's a wash at least, and you're getting a bonus from the employer.
Right. And, these days, a lot of people are finding it very fulfilling in their life to end their one career and pick up a part-time retirement career for 10 or 15 years. Not only does it help them with their, retirement financial goals, but it gives them some fulfilling job to do that maybe is a little less stressful than their career job.
Yep, absolutely. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a gentleman who studied self-made millionaires for over 5 years and found a common daily habit that's probably keeping you from being independently wealthy, right here on the Keep Your Money Show.